Good day, students. It's another wonderful day here at Wilcox Central High School. Yes, I know you're at home laying down chilling, but it's also a great day at your house, at your wherever you live at, wherever you're on the road. It doesn't matter. You're able to watch this video and you're going to get great material on it because it comes with some snippets of the Telltale Heart. That's right. For those of you that did not get the live instruction, you're getting the video instruction, and this will be available to those who did get the live instruction, all on the materials page in your Google Classroom. So the way we're going to be looking at this is that there are going to be certain scenes in which I will play, and then I'll come back in and basically give a little bit of detail to it, just to kind of enlighten your mind on things. And with that second, fourth, and sixth period, you will be responsible for an assignment tomorrow with your Nathaniel Hawthorne assignment, and you will have to basically just follow the same instructions as you would any other assignment. It's going to be on Ed Puzzle. That first, third, and fifth period will basically do what you are doing now. You also will be responsible for an Ed Puzzle at the end of this episode. So make sure all of you stick around for the instructions. The only way you're going to be able to get them is to stick around for the end. So let's go ahead and get into it. The opening of Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart basically is this man who is claimed to be crazy, but he believes that he's just sane. He's calm. He's sane because he's calm. So I'm gonna let a scene play real quick just to show you exactly what I mean by the disturbance of how calm he was.
True, nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been, and am. But why do you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was my sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth, and I heard many things in hell.
So you can see he clearly was not exactly all there, but the way that he spoke, the calmness of his tone, it almost was seductive. Like it brought you in. It made you curious as to how in the world this man could literally be as sane as he claims he is, but insane because of the crime he committed. So as the story begins to progress, as it begins to pick up, you start to see the relationship being explored between the caretaker and the old man. And you begin to find out what exactly it is that makes the old man so disturbing, or what about the old man that becomes disturbing. So check out this scene real quick.
It is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain, but once conceived, it haunted me day and night. Object, there was none. Passion, there was none. I loved the old man. He never wronged me. He'd never given me insult. For his money I had no desire. I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture. A pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so, by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever.
So yeah, you pretty much have come to the understanding that this particular eye that he calls it, you'll soon learn that it's called the evil eye. He calls it the evil eye because of how different it was from his traditional eye, which we know nothing of. We know nothing of this particular eye because the evil eye, as he called it, the vulture's eye, the pale blue eye, is literally the most disturbing thing he has seen. He feels like it's basically piercing his soul, making him feel some kind of uncomfort. Now, if you guys have been paying attention, you'll notice that this man is blind in that very eye as well. That plays a big role in the video version of this particular tale and in some adaptations of the written version of the Telltale Heart, because there's not a lot of changes, there's not a lot of deviations, but there's definitely some elements in there that are pretty much different, but the main content is the same. So you're gonna find that he feels sentiment for the old man. He feels a certain way when it comes to the way that he cares for him. He's gonna feel like this man is not guilty, but he's in a situation where he's guilty by association because he's the owner of this eye. So check out this scene real quick to basically get an idea of what I mean.
I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. And this I did for 7 long nights, every night, just at midnight. But I found the eye always closed, and so it was impossible to do the work. For it was not my patient old man who vexed me, but the evil eye.
So basically, if he had seen that eye open, like maybe more than, let's say about like on the 3rd day or the 4th night, he probably would have killed him then. I mean, this man waited 7 whole nights. That's a week in order to kill this man on the 8th night. Now, granted, he had all the power in the world to do this. He even explains it. He says that he never felt the extent of his own power like that. He never felt the true sagacity of his power. And basically, sagacity is just another way of saying that he's got power. Like he's never felt so in control of someone else's fate that way. And that's a very dangerous thing to have. So I want to show you this clip here. This is one of those Gothic elements where we talk about the hidden unknown terror that is beyond. And I kind of want to give my anecdote after this scene so you can kind of see exactly what I mean by it. So let's go ahead and take a look.
And it was the mournful influence of this unperceived shadow that caused him to feel, although he neither saw nor heard, to feel my presence within the room.
So you can only imagine how that might feel, right? To him. All right, so the difference with him is that he had no idea it was coming. The old man, no idea. All he knew was that, hey, I'm going to sleep. I'm going to wake up the next morning, have breakfast, and go about my day as usual. Now, imagine being in a position that we're normally in. See, I'll give you a good example. When I was in college, I was playing my game, just normal as usual, and a friend of mine, she was over basically doing her work because she didn't want to be in the room with her friends. So she came over and she didn't mind me playing my game. So I'm over here just, doing it up, just playing the video game. And somehow I fell asleep mid-game. And it was one of the craziest things in the world. And I'm like, yo, how is it that I'm asleep? At least that's what I asked myself after the fact. But the whole time I felt a presence near me. But I couldn't hear or see because my hearing basically was not working while I was asleep. And I couldn't just open my eyes because I felt trapped in my own sleep. But I knew somebody was there. I felt it. That's kind of how the old man was. He couldn't see or hear it. So when I woke up, I look up and I see her basically recording me while I'm asleep. Like if I had the video, I would show you guys. But the point of it is, if I had done something crazy to this girl, or just had, you know, a basic, or if I just had like an evil eye of my own, I could have very well been held at knife point by the person. But it does give a motive. Most killers in horror movies do this. They wait for their prey to open their eyes because they want the satisfaction of knowing that their prey knows who killed them. That is one of the main reasons why he waited for the eye to open. He wanted the eye to open, not because he wanted the old man to know why he killed him, but more so to the fact he wanted the evil eye to know who is vanquishing the evil that's within the old man. All right, so you'll see what I mean shortly as the next scene plays. It's going to basically bring in the heat of the moment, and it gives you a little bit of the aftermath of what happened after he killed him.
And now, have I not told you that what you mistake for madness is but over-acuteness of the senses? Now, I say, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, such as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I knew that sound well, too. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. The old man's hour had come. There was no pulsation. He was stone dead. The eye would trouble me no more. If still you think me mad, you will think so no longer, for I took wise precautions in the concealment of the body. The night waned, and I worked hastily, but in silence.
So, as you come to figure out, he went and killed the guy, and he put him in the floorboards after dismembering him. When you read the text, you'll find out that he dismembered him, and that was by far one of the most indirectly direct, gruesome murders that has actually happened in the Edgar Allan Poe series of horrific murders and mysteries. Now, granted, again, the man had a good reason in his mind of why he wanted to kill the old man. As you may recall earlier, he never harbored any hatred for him. He never wanted anything for him except the evil eye gone. In further studies, some academics believe that the evil eye was a method of possession, because what would end up happening is that people find themselves going mad over other people that had nothing to do with them in the first place. But after you've done the evaluation, the psychotic evaluation, you find that that person believed that another one was possessed by a particular body part or a particular spirit that inhabit that body part. In this case, the evil eye. So after all of that, you notice that he made a loud scream. The policemen showed up. They came in and they were basically saying like, hey, there's a disturbance around here. The lady next door told us all about it. We just want to check and see if everything is okay. And so, yeah, naturally, the butler, the narrator, he comes in, he lets them come in and basically just have a little tea and biscuits, you know how they do. And the rest of the story begins to really start creeping up on them, because remember, back earlier, you heard the sound of the heartbeat. It goes like this. You see that steady tone? That right there is the beating that he heard in his head. And it begins to make an appearance again, just like it did before, as it beat faster. So it would have went something like this. So imagine being in his position with the officers that came by. This is basically the same as in when we've done something and we've tried to hide it, and then people are all around, you start to notice everything. This is that same kind of paranoia that has been experienced in the first part of, in the description in the first part of the story. He basically said your senses get acute, like your eyes, your ears, they begin to get sharper because you're noticing things that you don't want other people to notice. And it also makes you very overreactive. It basically puts you in a state of shock. You're going to be wondering like, oh my God, did I forget to do this, this, and this? Did I make sure this was hidden away? This is what you're about to see in the final scene of this particular episode. And I'm telling you, if you never experienced this kind of paranoia, you're never going to be able to really relate to it. However, if you had your own personal experience with paranoia, it is definitely going to be one of those moments where you're going to be like, oh crap. You might even think about something that you did recently and don't even remember. You'll just be like, oh man, I forgot about that, man. Let me fix this. So check this out.
Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God, no, no. They heard. They suspected. They knew. And they were making a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I think. But anything was better than this agony. Anything was more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer.
Villains! Dissemble no more! Tear up the planks! Here! Here! It was the beating of his hideous heart.
There you have it. The consequences of paranoia, or the side effects of paranoia, is basically that hypervigilance and over hyperstimulation of the senses. And so with the narrator in the story, he basically experienced the worst of it. Too much adrenaline because of his paranoia allowed him to be able to see things that really weren't going on. This is where a lot of people become borderline schizophrenic. Although he was never actually diagnosed as schizophrenic, most people would probably say that because of the level of the intensity that he felt when committing the crime and trying to hide it. However, the way that he was calm telling the story, most people won't classify that as schizophrenic. They may just classify it as a type of insanity disorder, things of that nature, because he could literally have pled insanity in court and just got time in an asylum, which he ends up doing in the end of the little miniature video. So one of the things that I want you guys to recognize, all the Gothic literature signs that are in this piece. The official YouTube video will be up on the website, and I'm at the classroom, but it'll be available for you to watch. You can watch this as a full video, and you can see for yourself that it literally is one of those moments where everything you do matters. Like how you do it, when you do it, why you do it. Big moral of the story today: if you don't feel like it's right, then you're gonna always want to hide it. Never do anything that you feel like you have to hide it, because that's where the true terror is. Those are where the real monsters are. In here, not out there. So, this has been another lesson for you guys. Second, fourth, and sixth period. Stick around for instructions on what to do for your assignment for today. That will be due at midnight, of course. So, for the rest of you, enjoy your day. I will see you all on the next go round. This is Mr. English. For you guys at Wilcox Central, this is Mr. Coleman signing out.